Dan, what's your overriding emotion after that tonight?
Probably disappointed that we didn't win the game. I think we've done more than enough to win the game in terms of chances, shots, two cleared off the line. I'm not sure why the goal's disallowed for the foul with Martinez. So I think 2-2. I think if you look at the game in the context of everything, I thought we've done more than enough to win the game. So that's obviously disappointing.
When you get to 2-1 up, does that make it even more frustrating?
For sure. I think when you get to 2-1 up, you want to go and see out the game, try and score another goal. To be fair, Burnley, it's a great finish and not much we could do about it. But that's the disappointing, to be 1-0 down first half, to come out and show that character, second half to go 2-1 up, but then to concede and not to be able to go on and get a third goal to win 3-2. That's the disappointments. But the lads gave their all. The effort was there, the application was there, trying to take on board the new ideas and things like that in such a short space of time. So I'm happy with their output and their levels, but I know they've got way more in them and more improvement to come.
In terms of the way the goals were conceded, did you feel there's a bit of luck there that went against you, or do you feel that players need to do a bit more in those situations?
No, I think you always can do more. Every time a team scores against you, you can do more. I think the first goal is obviously a deflection, so there's a luck element to that, but you have to deal with that. I think every time you concede a goal, there's something that can be done to improve, and we'll reflect on them and learn.
What do you feel worked well tonight? What do you need to still work on?
I felt like our runs in behind, our movement, our chance creation was good tonight. There was a lot of positive play. I think you can tell the players were used to playing in a different system for a while, so it's not easy to adapt, and you can see the challenges that lie there, but that's pretty normal. Fatigue was a big thing today. I thought there was a few tired legs. We've had players who've come back from injury, who've played a lot of minutes. We've had a lot of injuries. Skeleton squad, quick turnaround from Sunday to Wednesday, the shortest of the season. So the players were giving their all under real fatigue, extreme conditions. So, I can only compliment them for their efforts.
From a personal point of view, in terms of Benjamin Sesko, how much did he need that tonight?
He needed it massively, and obviously I spoke to him before the game and tried to reiterate what a good player he is and how much I'd watched him over the years. And we got the service into the box for him. He made great movement, great runs, and he took his 2 goals fantastically. They were well taken goals, both of them.
How are you feeling after this, after having the experience of that 95 minutes?
It's an amazing experience. I'm disappointed we didn't win the game, so I can't hide that. But in terms of the experience of leading the team out, preparing the team, the fans, the support, everything like that, it's a pleasure, it was an honour. But I can't help but stand here and think that we didn't win the game, so that's my overriding disappointment.
You said you wanted to get this one out of the way, then things will happen after that. What, in terms of where you stand just now, will you be in charge for another game, or what have you been told?
Yeah, I've spoke to the board and I'll be in charge for the Brighton game, and then we'll take it from there again. It's one game at a time, so yeah, recover from this game and then we prepare for Brighton in the FA Cup on Sunday.
Some of your former teammates have been linked with coming back. Are you wanting to be involved long term with the first team? What is your own feeling after having a taste of it tonight?
No, I've been around it for a long time before, so I've been around the first team for years before that. I'm only focusing on the next game and the job in hand. There's a lot to do, and it's a big responsibility, so my full focus just now is on the short term, and that's the game against Brighton.
Just finally, from a player's point of view, do they need some certainty and clarity now as well, as soon as they can?
Always, yeah. You want clarity and certainty as quickly as possible, but I think the time frame's been quite fair. We kind of expected it would probably be 2 games and then we'll take it from there. So the players are great though. I know the players, I've known them for a long time, and they're more than on board with me being in charge and helping them and trying to push us forward this season. But as always, you want things to be cleared up as quickly as possible. That's life and every player wants that.
Dan, appreciate your time.
Thank you. Cheers.
Some news for you, a little update. He will also be in charge for the FA Cup tie on Sunday at home to Brighton before anything is announced.
First of all, he's a good talker, Fletch. Do you know what I mean?
We all knew that anyway.
I know, but I know, of course you know it, but to be fair, in our team, because there were so many dominant characters, he wasn't that vocal. He just kind of always led by example. He was always consistent. I just thought he spoke terrific there. He gave the lads probably a few messages. Get the ball into Sesko a little bit quicker, play a little bit more positive. He changed the shape and it looked good. I mean, 30 shots in any game is a lot, and they probably deserve to win the game. But I think once Bruno Fernandes went off, that's probably because of the injury that he had. It felt like they lost a little bit of that control in the midfield. I thought Kobbie Mainoo came on, he looked good as well. So I think in the end, with the performance, I think he'll be happy. Just not actually winning the game, which they probably could have.
So he's got one more game, and then you would expect some sort of announcement, which, as he was alluding to at the end, whether it's him, whether it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Michael Carrick, whoever, till the end of the season will be important for that clarity. for the players.
He's right. He's speaking as a player there. We all want clarity. Everyone wants to know exactly what's going on. But you've got to also have understanding in these moments. You've got to understand that Ruben Amorim being sacked changes everything. So Darren Fletcher coming in with a bit of continuity. The lads now know they can focus on Sunday and they can relay the messages. He can, excuse me, do the debrief after this game. You just got to live in the moment, especially in these moments in a football club when it all gets turned upside down. Live in the moment, concentrate on your recovery, your quality, and look forward to the game.
He's arriving at Turf Moor behind us there in 75 minutes. He will have those butterflies in his stomach. He's quite a cool, I was going to say laid back. When I'm sitting next to you, he probably isn't laid back. You're the most laid back man I've ever come across. But he is. He takes everything in his stride. But tonight, that's different, isn't it? When he delivers that message that he's just delivered there to the players and then walks out leading that Manchester United team.
Do you know what? I think his best attribute, I think he's humble. He's one of the most humble guys you'll ever... Even though he was a super talented player and he kind of sacrificed himself for the team, and he wouldn't treat this any different than he treated our games or training. Every day he showed up, he gave it everything he had. And Fletch was consistent because he approached it always the same way. He won't approach this any different, Steve. He'll be meticulous, he'll be prepared, he'll have a game plan, tell the boys to go enjoy themselves. He'll want them to play with heart and energy and courage. I think that's what a lot of the guys need is believe in yourself. The reason you're here is because you're good enough to wear the shirt, but you've got to show it, you've got to believe it. Don't run away from it, you've got to run into it. And I think Fletch will give the players that confidence to go enjoy it a little bit more. I don't think he'll change at all. It's a huge moment, obviously, for him and for his family. But I think he'll stay the same humble guy that he's always been.
Looking at it from the outside, Joe, given some of the United teams you played against, how important is his United DNA, the fact that he's come through the club, had the success in the likes of Owen's teams, do you think, in this particular situation, given where United are?
I think it's important, obviously, for him, for his beliefs, but that's not the Man United teams that he's used to playing in out there. He's going to have to really help these players. Like
what, talent-wise, you mean?
Talent-wise, belief-wise.
Standards, I'm talking.
Standards-wise, like how you can implement them very, very quickly. He's not going to be able to do that. Hopefully, enough of them will know him. They'll know his career. They'll know him from being around the building. Hopefully, his sons conduct themselves in the manner which I'm sure they do. The humble, kind of energetic, hungry players that they are. They've got a big role to play because they're going to mirror what they want from their father. But his Manchester United DNA, you can't rely on that because that's not Manchester United at the moment. That's not how the teams run. That's not how the team plays. And that's been shown in recent years with all the managers that have come in and tried to replicate it. So it will give him a good grounding, but he's got to understand that isn't enough, and I'm sure he does. And you've got to kind of earn that kind of Man United status that they really don't have at the moment. What
about post tonight? I mean, they're playing the FA Cup at the weekend. The reports at the moment suggest they could go back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and/or Michael Carrick, who's been sitting in that very seat on a regular basis with us. He's not answering his phone at the moment. Surprise, surprise. I mean, is that a good fit till the end of the season to steady the ship and try and maybe guide them into Europe, which was the remit for Ruben Amorim?
Well, I think Fletcher's a good, obviously, for this game because they don't have it. But I do think, what if he does incredibly well tonight? I think obviously Carrick and Ole and Fletcher, they're kind of all of a similar personality. They're incredibly humble, had great careers. It was never about them. And I think obviously with Michael and Ole, they have more experience coaching, a lot more. And I think ultimately the goal is it's not about Ole or Michael Carrick or Darren Fletcher. It's about Man United getting to the Champions League places. And obviously maybe with a more experienced manager, that gives them maybe more of a chance because obviously Ole's already been there and done it, and Michael had an interim and did very well. So I think together they could probably do it quite well, because I think Michael Carrick's proven to be a very good coach. I think Darren Fletcher's really getting into it and he loves it. He really loves the coaching side. And Ole could do kind of more the man-to-man management side. I could see them, I hope, more kind of morphing together and doing it as a group collectively.
OK, that is Owen Hargreaves and Joe Hart. Good to see you, gents. Before we talk about on the pitch, what a week in the Premier League it's been off it, and in particular at your former club and your former teammate in the spotlight tonight, Darren Fletcher, leading Manchester United's first team.
Remarkable. I mean, we've seen sport and football gives you so many stories and headlines, but kind of the chaos, the good chaos this week around it is quite remarkable. I think Chelsea got a new manager, Man United with a new manager, Darren Fletcher, from the under-18 straight into the hot seat. Does he go straight to a back four? You know, Ruben got a lot of criticism for not being flexible, playing the back three. You can almost guarantee Darren's going to play a back four. Going back to the roots of Man United. One thing I would say, they had flying wingers in the past. They don't really have any at the moment, though. You know, Mbeumo and Ahmad are still at AFCON. So it'll be interesting to see how he sets the team up, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of changes for Darren and the team.
Yeah, it's a remarkable opportunity for him, isn't it? I mean, I was looking before, 23 Premier League goals he got. He can't have scored one against Joe, but he did. But it was a 6-1, so I can't go any further. So,
you can bring that one
so
up.
you've played, yeah, I know, yeah. You've played against him, and now here he is. He's a manager in the Premier League tonight.
Yeah, big moment for him. I think on a fellow professional point of view. Oh, you must be buzzing. Like, what a great opportunity.
You know what? He's just a diamond of a guy. You want the good guys to do well, and he's one of the best.
Yeah. But look, let's not get away from the little glitz and glamour. Like, he's got a big, important role. It's his legacy is not on the line, but you know, he's done a brilliant job at Manchester United. He was appreciated so much. He was such a team player. And now he's got to step up in the biggest moment. That's a big night for him, you know. As much as he'll be happy and honoured, he'll want to do well. He'll want to put his name out there. And the players need to react, don't they? And
he's coaching his boys.
And he's coaching his boys. I mean, geez, I forgot about that.
Crazy.
How do you do that? You do that, don't you?
Yeah, they're under 10s, though. It's not in the Premier League. I mean, it is a remarkable story, and you just want him... you just want him to do well, because he is really one of the good guys. He's one of the... John nailed it. He's the ultimate team player. It's always been. It was never about him. He was always unselfish. And that's probably why these guys make good managers, because it's not about them, and they can bring it all together. And I'm sure that's what Darren will do. He'll try and bring it all together, try and make the lads feel comfortable, and tell them to enjoy it and go and express themselves. There's been a lot of pressure at United recently, and people struggling to meet expectations. He'll say, forget that. Go enjoy it and embrace the pressure.
Yeah, we'll hear from him later on, because I went to see him last night. But whilst the question might remind, what are United going to do next? Chelsea have answered that. Liam Rosenior, 6.5-year contract. He's in the stands tonight. What an opportunity for a young English coach at a huge club like Chelsea this is.
Yeah, that's the way you've got to look at it. You know, obviously there'll be a lot of question marks about as soon as Maresca stepped down, who were Chelsea going to take on, what were they going to do, and what will be their kind of building blocks for the next couple of years with this amazing young squad they've got. And this is what they've done. They've nailed down Liam, who's been, you know, working hard. He's worked hard in the game, you know, ever since he's come out of it. He's not that long out of the game. I actually played with him at under 21 level. Really good professional, really interesting character. He's, you know, he's got a sparkle about him. But at the end of the day, you've just got to see this as a massive opportunity. 6.5 years, he can really bed down, get to know his players, try and get the best out of them. They've got such a good squad. You feel like anyone who can get the best out of them is going to have a real great opportunity at doing well.
Benjamin, what's your feeling after that tonight?
Yeah, first of all, it's hard for us. I think we were fighting, we were giving our best. We were trying to find the ways always to score. Fortunately, we could see the second goal like it was, and yeah, we just have to keep going like that.
From your own point of view tonight, getting a couple of goals, how good does that feel? And is there a sense of relief maybe personally?
No, it's just, of course, it's easier for me, but it's really important also for team that I can help them that way. It's my job in the end of the day to try to help the team as much as possible. Yeah, we still got a draw with that, and I think we have to keep moving from that.
From your own point of view, was it a case of making sure you kept getting involved, trying to take the chances and not worrying about the ones you missed?
Yeah, of course. It's always important just to try to commit to the chances over and over again. Try to bring the balls inside the box because we were creating a lot of chances, and that's the most important. And we just have to keep pushing with those kind of situations.
It's been a difficult last 48 hours for the club. What do the players need now to make it easier for you in terms of a manager coming in and knowing what's going to happen going forward?
Of course, it's never easy when you lose a manager, but now it's up to us, obviously, to stand together as a group, to really show that we can work together no matter what situation. And in the end, it's just important us to focus on the upcoming games, upcoming trainings, and that's the most important.
Well done tonight. You're the player of the match.
Positive for Manchester United, but ultimately another 2 points dropped away at second from bottom Burnley. It was an eventful game. It was like the days when you were playing with Darren Fletcher, and Burnley got a bit of luck to take the lead and give them that shock start.
Yeah, they did. I mean, poor Aiden Heaven, he's been terrific this season. He's only a young man, but when he stepped in, he's actually played really well. Guire and De Ligt have been out, and he gets there He just puts his leg up and it just comes off him. He's really unfortunate. Lammers, I don't think he can really do anything. He does the right thing. Aiden Heaven gets to it and just, I mean, it's just unlucky, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, just really unfortunate. As soon as it balloons up, Lammers is wrong-footed and it just drops perfectly. There's nothing you can do there.
But then we just heard from him. Benjamin Sesko stepped up. Only 2 goals in a Manchester United shirt prior to tonight, and he's got 2 in one game under Darren Fletcher.
And he's probably saying, get me a bit of service. You know, get the ball in the box a little bit quicker for me. Man United had 30 shots in this game, Steve. Remarkable, really. What a ball from Bruno Fernandes. That's why you play him as a 10, because he can give you that. And watch Bruno. Checks his shoulder. Sesko's off straight away, saying, give it to me. Great little ball in. And I love this little finish from Sesko. First time, great finish. Really good goal. And that's why Bruno's still the architect of everything good for Man United. But it was great for Sesko to get an opportunity to score and give him a bit of confidence.
And 9 minutes later, he did it again.
He did. Excellent ball in. Brilliant wing play. Dorgu out on the left wing. Probably playing out of position, but an excellent team player. Look at this. Absolute perfection. And a brilliant finish from Sesko. Yeah, he just all of a sudden looks full of confidence, doesn't he?
Even Ugarte with a bit more confidence, you know.
Yeah.
Goes to link up. Little 1-2 there. These two been a lot of criticism, but he gets it in first time. Look at the movement from Sesko. Takes the defender away, and then he gets there, gets across first time.
Look how relaxed he is, though. He looks like he scored 15, 20 goals this season. Just in his stride, beautiful. Doesn't overreact when he scores the goal.
That's all he needs to be, doesn't he? In between the posts, get the man some service. I think, obviously, when players are whipping the balls, and before Dorgu would have played on the right, and he wouldn't have been able to cross that with his right foot. Because he's playing on his left, they can combine 1-2, and then he can just whip it in early doors. And Sesko knows there's space there. He can attack it. Physically, he's very, very good. He's very quick. He's very powerful. But they've got to get crosses in. Today was a great example that he can be effective if they get crosses in.
They got 30 shots today, more than any team in any game this season. They were 2-1 up, but then this happened. And Bruno Fernandes, critically, had gone off by this stage.
Yeah, definitely. It was a big change. Big change for the team. You saw, and Burnley just come on. They didn't panic. This is an excellent ball, and this is a brilliant goal. Goal of the night. Just looked so confident when he cut back onto his left foot. Edwards passing through the lines, just receives it with his back to plate. This chop here, perfect, allows him the space. That's an excellent finish. Really, really good goal. And it's crazy to think the Premier League's such a high level that even a team that's struggling so badly in the Premier League has got this quality.
What's a chop that is?
It's a brilliant...
Great ball from Marcus Edwards. You know, just a little straight one into Jadon Anthony's feet. There's not actually a lot of space there to be chopping people, especially good defenders like Martinez and Luke Shaw, but fabulous finish.
We knew Darren Fletcher would give young players an opportunity. We've only seen Shea Lacey very briefly once at Villa Park, the 18-year-old, but goodness me, nearly made an impact here, didn't he?
Tell you what, he's a player. He's got something. I know he's only young and, you know, he's not the biggest, but I tell you what, he's got courage. He knows exactly what he wants to do, get onto that left foot. He reminds me a bit of Phil Foden, the way he moves, the way he dribbles. Technically, he's a very, very good player. Scored a ton of goals in the youth team, but he's so unlucky. He has a picture of what he wants, doesn't he, Joe?
Oh, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. I actually thought it was in the whole way. Dubravka's waving that goodbye. You're just hoping to hear that bar rattle there, but he looked full of confidence, didn't he? Had well, it was a bit more of a speculative effort, but he looks dangerous on the left foot.
Neville's right. They're dropping points against teams at the bottom. They haven't got the qualities to kill teams off.
Tim, what else do you think we learned? Or what will Darren Fletcher and Manchester United have learned?
Well, I think the positive is Sesko scoring. You know, he's scoring 2 goals. Hopefully, he gets some confidence from that. He's took 6 months to turn up at Man United. I'm pleased for the lad. You know, he's had a tough run of it. I had him off the pitch at half-time. Never to wear a Man United shirt again.
I wasn't going to remind you, Tim. I wasn't going to take you there.
No, yeah. Listen, I stand by what I'm saying. He's not good enough to play for Man United.
But he looked it. If he plays at that level, surely.
Yeah, no. He's turned up for one game against Burnley, who are going to get relegated. Look, fair play to him. You know, hopefully he gets some confidence and we start seeing something different for him. I'll put him in my fantasy team next week.
Well, maybe it helps if he's got Bruno closer to him.
Yeah.
If he's got crosses coming in from left and right.
When Bruno come off, I know he's not been injured, but when he comes off the pitch, I think they lose control. I think he's one man who can put the foot on the ball. He passes the time over. He passes it to the right people at the right time. And I think they miss that guy, or they really do. So they're well short of quality. That's what Man United are. As Jamie says, you need to be able to kill the game off. You need to be able to dictate the pace of the game. And they don't do that, even when they're ahead. You know, so it's look.
But it's not, like you said about Sesko, it's not rocket science that you get a left-sided player on the wing with Dorgu crossing the ball into good areas so he can come and attack it. I feel sorry for centre forward sometimes because they have to make 6 runs. The winger gets it, goes to cross it, chops it back. They've made 5 runs. All of a sudden, much easier to mark. When the ball comes in early like that, that's what he needs. That's what he's had before. That's what he needs.
To be fair to Fletcher, he switched him over at half-time and Dorgu puts a cross in. You know, he's on the favoured left foot. Good, fantastic delivery.
This is the first goal he scored. We saw the Bashir Humphries cross the Aidan Heaven deflection to give Burnley the lead at half-time.
Great pass, great way to pass and a fantastic run.
Is it just about taking his shot early as well, Tim?
It is, but it's all about Bruno. I mean, he's instrumental. He knows he's a little swivel there, and the weight of pass and a good run from Sesko and a good finish.
Does he almost dictate that movement from Sesko?
Absolutely.
Is he almost telling him where to go?
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's exactly what he does. But the pass has to be with the correct weight. I just think he's a special player, Bruno Fernandes. He really is.
Yeah. And
it's great play. I mean, the ball by Casemiro gets on the half-turn.
This is the goal you're talking about when Dorgu is on that left-hand side. This is what he can do.
Yeah, you can see now he's got his tail up. You can see him there. He's starting to have a bit of movement. He wants the ball. He's got a bit of running here. He makes 2 runs, opens his body up. Really good finish. Really good. See, look, he's asking for the ball. He's checking his shoulder. Where am I going to be free? Gets onto his blind spot. Then he nips back in front of him. Lovely finish. Good for him. Good cross as well. But we see it so often with wingers with their opposite foot. I would like to see this become more of a thing now. Makes it a lot easier for strikers. If you ask him, does he prefer a left-footed boy crossing it? Of course he does.
Looks simple, doesn't it, when it's executed like that? And in that period between Burnley's 2 goals, it was almost total domination from Manchester United. 18 shots to 3, 8-0 on target, and Burnley only had 3 touches in the opposition box during that quite lengthy period as Manchester United dominated possession as well. But Jadon Anthony was to have the final say in this game. Someone who was on fire at the start of this season, but he's had a long wait for this goal. Found himself on the bench of late, but what a strike this is, Tim.
Yeah, he just takes it there on his back foot and he just wants to get out onto his left foot. Martinez defending is so poor. I mean, I'm not sure where he's going there, but he twists his whole body around. But you see Jadon there, a little glimpse over his shoulder, wants to get it onto his left foot. Martinez should know that, and he bends it into the top corner. Such precision there with the strike. It's a wonderful strike from Jadon. Scott Parker's sides, they lack quality, but they never go away. They always fight until the end.
Plenty of effort. A great goal. Really good finish. But you're right about Martinez there. He gets caught, doesn't he? He chops it back inside. You completely lose him. Great finish, though. Pleased for him.
Can you see any way out for Burnley?
No, I can't really. No, not if I'm honest. I'm a big fan of Scott Parker as a person, as a manager, but it's very difficult for him. You know, they haven't got the players, the quality. They didn't really have that go, and the recruitment that Sunderland had that's really paid off hasn't paid off for Burnley so far. So, no, it's going to be really difficult for them. They've got to go on an incredible run. And like tonight, they're the games that you somehow got to get 3 points. It's going to be very difficult for them. And the results tonight were really poor, really bad for them as well. Yeah. All the other teams at the bottom won.
And for West Ham, not a good couple of nights for them. They haven't really had their breaks so far. They certainly got one in the first half when that deflected cross from Bashir Humphries, who's only just come into the side recently. You saw him claw one off the line earlier as well, but he was celebrating this as if this is very much his goal, Tim.
Yeah, Heaven goes out there, he tries to defend with the wrong foot. He's got more interest in putting his hands behind his back, but Casemiro here, Ugarte, they're so deep. And Casemiro goes and engages. Dalot knows he's got a problem there, 3v2, but he just switches off and he lets Humphries just running behind him, and he whips a decent ball in there, but Heaven, for me, has to go with his right foot. He's more interested in putting his arms behind his back. Yes, they get fortunate, of course they do. Over the top of Lamens into the back of the net. Fortunate for Burnley, they haven't had much of that. And they'll take advantage of that. And you thought from there on in, they get their towels up. But Man United stuck with it. You know, I think he made a few tweaks second half, Fletcher. Hopefully they can go on a run now, but, you know, it's still poor, isn't it? You know, like we talked about control.
Did the system look better, though?
It's not about the system.
All right. I mean, that goal there was
getting your best players in the right position.
Yeah, but people talk about three at the back's not a bad system. It's a good system, but the players that he's played in those systems and the mistakes that he's made along the way have been the mistake. Yeah. You know, that's where it's all fundamentally gone wrong for him. You know, and taking off players. When you have to. When things aren't going your way, you have to maybe go to a back four. or change it, or maybe, look, we're losing this game, they've got a man sent off, you don't stay free at the back. And that's what Amorim kept making. Those are the mistakes. So even if the next manager comes and wants to play 3 at the back, you can still have success playing it. Do I think it's the way forward for Man United? No, because it's more of a counter-attacking system. But it is still a good system.
Just on that point, Jamie, we can show you the stats from the game. You talk about the counter-attacking system of the 3 at the back and the difference that maybe it makes if you do play 4 at the back for Manchester United and you get Bruno Fernandes playing up higher the pitch. 30 shots that Manchester United have had. The most they've had in a Premier League game this season. This has come away from home, remember, as well. And expected goals figure is 2 more than Burnley. So you'd normally expect to be winning a game on that basis. But they've had one fly in from the deflecting in the first half. And then Jane Anty has scored that cracking equalising goal as well. Did you see the evidence that this is the way forward? Is that enough evidence that this is the way forward for 4 at the back, 3 in midfield?
I think it's easier for every player to learn to play 4 at the back. I think they're better set up to do that. They need to get in support of Sesko, so it helps you get support of him. Get Bruno Fernandes on the ball further up the field. Ugarte and Casemiro is not the answer in the midfield area. They need someone in there. If they're going to get Bruno on the ball and Cunha on the ball, they need them on the ball higher up the field and more often than what they did tonight. And if they do that, I think they can cause problems, they can create chances and they can win football matches. But I go back to what Jamie says, whether it's 3 at the back or whether it's 4 at the back, the same mistakes are being made. We saw that there with Casemiro letting Humphries go for that first goal. You know, that is nothing to do with systems. That's just the fundamentals of running back and being disciplined and being responsible when you need to defend.
We are in 90 plus 12.